If you suffer a catastrophic injury or illness or become disabled and are unable to make responsible decisions concerning medical, legal, and financial needs, or even manage your daily affairs, the court may appoint a guardian to oversee your affairs. But is a guardian your best option? Here to talk much more about this important topic is attorney Paul Diamore. Paul, welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me back, Wyatt.
It's great to have you here. Look, this is an important topic, and you have seen many cases where this has become critical. The difference between having a guardian, a power of attorney, a lot to talk about here.
A lot to talk about, a lot to cover in the short amount of time, but we'll try to cover the highlights. Guardianships and powers of attorney are important when a person can't make their own decisions for whatever reason. Illness, we find people in comas, have suffered catastrophic head injuries, and then family members are asked to make decisions for them. Now, in those situations, you have two options, either a guardianship or a power of attorney, and they are very different legal vehicles. We've prepared a slide to help people understand the comparison.
Okay.
So on the left, you see a guardianship, and you see our judge there who's looking over the bench, because the court's going to be asked to make the decision about who should be appointed the guardian. Who should make the decisions for this person who no longer can make decisions for themselves. Whereas on the right, you see the power of attorney. And you see our little super couple there, because they have all the power in a power of attorney. They can actually create the document that grants a particular person the actual and specific rights they want that person to have for the decision-making process over their affairs.
So people that are planning ahead, they can get that power of attorney in place.
Correct. One is planning ahead, and one is trying to make up for lost ground.
And the court is more involved in that decision on the guardianship
The court is
side.
absolutely involved. And so if we go back to our slide and we look at the next, see, the court chooses the decision maker and actually sets the scope of the powers. So you can go into court and ask, is it just medical decisions that are being made? Is it just property decisions that are being made? Is it both? And the court will actually decide who the best person is to make that decision. Where on the other hand, with the power of attorney, you actually create the document yourself, or you ask a lawyer to help you. We'll get to that in a second as to the different ways you can do that. But it allows you to pick the person and give them the specific powers that you want them to have.
It certainly seems like that is the preferred option, but you've got to take some action ahead of time to make sure that's the case.
I'll give you an example. Ironically enough, as I was creating this presentation for you, I got a phone call from a woman who was absolutely distraught. Her brother was in a coma, and the doctors were asking what should be done. They wanted to take him off life support, said he was brain dead, and she didn't know what to do. Now, she actually technically didn't have a right to say what to do, because he had never given her a power of attorney.
It wasn't in place.
Correct. But if the doctors wanted to make the decision for him and take him off life support, they were going to go to court and ask for a guardian to be appointed and actually have a judge make a decision as to whether this person should be taken off life support or not.
That's a case where it's clearly that earlier action of getting that power of attorney in place would have been key.
Get out in front.
All right.
Get out in front. So let's go back to the slide.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So just in picking up on our comparison, you know, going to court can be costly, time-consuming, and it can be contentious, whereas a power of attorney can be quick, easy, and inexpensive. So if we have to go to court, if we just want to have the slide advance a bit, you're either going to end up with family versus family in a fight about who should be in charge, family versus doctors in a situation like I just described to you, or family versus a ticking clock. You're running out of time to make a decision. Whereas if you have a power of attorney, you can either use online services like Rocket Lawyer, LegalZoom, or you can hire a trust and estate lawyer to help you make a power of attorney. But you should do your own research. The internet's a powerful tool, and these questions will be answered for you rather quickly.
It's something critical. Once that situation arises, if you just have that pre-planning done, that power of attorney in place, you're going to save yourself tremendous heartache, probably.
I can't recommend it highly enough. I mean, we could sit here all day, and I can tell you horror stories about the times that I have to deal with this. Times when hospitals have asked to actually take people off life support who I can show you are now walking around.
And we can do it with those simple online services. Paul Diamore, thank you so much for coming in today, sir. A critically important topic.
Thanks for having me.
All right, great to have you here. We'll see you again next week, and we are back with more Midday Maryland right after this.